So they finally put a screen on an air cooler. This is the TRYX TURRIS 620, and it's actually TRYX's first air cooler. So they're definitely making a big splash with this one. So let's go ahead and take a look.
This video is brought to you by ADATA's XPG Core Reactor 2 power supplies. These power supplies are 80 plus gold rated for great efficiency, ATX 3.0 compliant with, of course, your 12VH PWR power connector. Inside, you'll find all Japanese capacitors, and these units offer 8 industrial protections as well as a 10-year warranty. Available in wattages ranging from 1200 watts to 650 watts, these are perfect for any build. To learn more, check out thinkcomputers.org/xpgcore.
Now to start things off, there are two different versions of this cooler. We have the white version here, but it's also going to come in black as well. Now talking about size, you can see this is a pretty massive CPU cooler. I'm going to go ahead and put the dimensions like I always do right up here on the screen so you can see just how big it is. Also, it's pretty heavy. It comes in at 1,850 grams, making it one of the heaviest CPU coolers that we've taken a look at lately. At the front of the cooler, we have our first fan, which is a 120 millimeter TRYX roto fan. This fan will spin up to 1,850 RPM, pushing up to 66.32 cmf of air, with a maximum air pressure of 2.1 and a maximum noise level of 27.42 dBA. Taking a look at the cooler from the side, we can see the dual tower, dual fan design. The heatsink towers are short towards their far ends to make sure you don't run into any clearance issues with memory or surrounding motherboard components. The front fan at its standard placement will give you 45 millimeters of RAM clearance, but you can slide it up for a maximum clearance of 55 millimeters. Our two heatsink towers are going to be made of aluminum. Each heatsink is made up of 89 larger fins and 15 smaller fins where the heatsink towers are cut short. We can also see that TRYX does use a variation of fin size for the larger fins themselves. Moving up to the top of the heatsink, we have a nice top cover. This cover features a 5-inch IPS display that runs at 60 Hz with a 720p resolution and a pixel density of 294 ppi. Below that screen is a mirrored section, and overall the top of the cooler is nice and uniform. The top cover of the cooler easily comes off as it's only held into place by magnets. We can see that TRYX is using pogo-style connections for the screen, so you don't have a big wire mess here. With the top cover removed, we gain access to the center fan, which is identical to the front fan. Pulling up on it, we can see how the rail system works, and we can fully remove the fan. Coming up from the base of the cooler are 6 6mm thick copper heat pipes. These heat pipes come up from the base of the cooler and go into each heatsink tower in a U fashion, which is quite standard for dual tower coolers. The base of the cooler is nickel-plated copper. If you didn't know, nickel plating actually helps with corrosion protection. The base is quite smooth, although there are some machining marks visible. When it comes to installation, this cooler supports all modern Intel and AMD sockets. Now we're going to be doing our installation on an AMD X870 motherboard, so this installation is going to be for AMD's AM5 socket. Before you do anything, you're going to want to make sure the mounting bracket on the cooler itself is in the right position. Our cooler shipped with it installed in the Intel optimized offset. We actually installed our cooler this way initially, but since we're using an AM5 CPU, we switched the bracket to the AM5 optimized offset. Now coming over to our motherboard, the first thing you want to do is remove the AM5 mounting brackets. You're going to keep the backplate in place though. Next, go ahead and take the AMD spacers and install them in the holes in the AM5 backplate on your motherboard. From there, take the AMD mounting bars and install them on the top and bottom of the socket. These do have arrows on them, so you know you're installing them in the correct orientation. Using the supplied thumb screws, secure them in place. Apply the included thermal paste, remove the center fan from the cooler, and then carefully place the cooler on top of your CPU, lining up the screws on each side with the mounting post on the mounting bars. Using the supplied L-handle screwdriver, go ahead and secure the cooler. While it's nice that TRYX did supply a screwdriver, the L-handle screwdriver is much harder to work with than a traditional screwdriver. With the cooler installed, go ahead and reinstall the center fan, and be sure to put the top cap on and connect the fans to each other and then to your CPU fan header. You're also going to want to connect the USB 2.0 header to your motherboard. If you're wondering, the USB 2.0 cable is long enough to route from the top of your motherboard tray around the back and back out to a bottom-mounted USB 2.0 header. With everything installed, the cooler itself does take up a considerable amount of space and will fully cover your memory. We have normal size memory, so we did not have to adjust the front fan at all. Now, in order to customize what's actually on the screen, you're gonna need to use TRYX's Canali software. So within this software, when you open it up, you are shown the TRYX products that you have installed. We have the TURRIS here, and then we have some system stats down here. This is good because you'll be able to display these actually on the screen, which I will show you. There's also a list of specifications showing you, everything that's installed in your system. You can click down here to go to the screen settings, or just click over here to go to the TURRIS settings. Now, here are our presets. I believe there's about 24 total presets. And when you hover over them, you'll be able to see what they do. Now, you can change the preset or view a preset pretty easily. And if we select it, it automatically changes on the screen there, as you can see. So if we go through a handful of these, you can kind of see what they look like. They are really good, and they look really good on the screen, in my opinion. So you can see that we can do that. Now, within each preset, we'll go back to this one. This is one of my favorites. Within each preset, you can select up to 3 items to display. So if we wanted to display the CPU temperature, so let's do CPU frequency, and let's say GPU temperature, we can hit save. And now that actually does display up here on the screen. It's in white. The thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is that it is kind of hard to see. We have it here in white. You can change it to black as well, and that's really hard to see in this one. Let's go to one that it might show up a little bit better. So there you can see it is in black, but there's no shadow or outline. That just would have been a lot easier to see these specific settings. Now, if we take these off and go back to our main preset here and hit save, if you're not into any of the 24 presets that are on here, like I said, there are a ton on here that you can easily, choose from. You can go to customization, and under the customization tab, you can select something like an image. So I have an image down here, and you can see the image is displayed no problem. We can also select something like a GIF. So I downloaded a Matrix theme GIF here, and I can go ahead and put that on there as well. Also, you can fully load movies or media files and things like that. So I have something, I have an Apex Legends gameplay that I have here, and I can bring that up and play that on here, which is really cool that you can essentially play a full-on movie. Now, keep in mind, all of these are going to be 16:9 aspect ratio. So something you record from, your system is probably going to be 16:10. So it will be cropped a little bit, but it displays quite nicely. So if you wanted to play a movie or something like that, you can definitely do that. The only limitations that I know of is that the file has to be 500 megabytes or less, and it can only be, 1080p. It can't be something like 4K, but it displays very nicely. Now, when you're displaying any of these, let's go back to the GIF here. When you're displaying any of these, you can also put some system information on there. So again, CPU temperature, GPU temperature, and let's do CPU usage. We hit save, and we'll make this one white so we can see it. And we hit save, and it should display up in there. Now, this one is a lot easier to see on the GIF, but again, you can display that stuff if you want to. And again, you can also change where it is displayed, so you can move that display over. But the software is really easy to use. And again, you can really customize what's being shown on the screen. Another thing you can do is you can loop everything that's in your media library. So I have it on single, but you can shuffle it, you can loop it. So if you had multiple media files, you can kind of just loop through them all, which is great. So you can go ahead and do that. But overall, this software is really easy to use. And I do like all of the preset animations that you have in here. 24 is quite a lot. And you can kind of do what you want with them. But I really like how the screen looks. It's something that, we've been wanting high quality screens on air coolers. We've had them on AIOs for a long time, but having a high quality screen on your CPU cooler, especially an air cooler, is just great. When it comes to testing, we're gonna be testing both temperatures and noise levels. So here's a full rundown of our test system. Now, looking at the temperature results first, during idle, this is actually the best performing air cooler in our test group. Moving on to our first load test, this is where we run 8064 with just the CPU selected. Here you can see it's right about in the middle of the pack. And then under our load 2, this is where we run 8064 with both the CPU and FPU enabled. And as you can see, again, it's not the best performing cooler, but it's just right under that. Now, moving to noise levels, here we actually use a sound level meter and we measure our system noise. So as you can see during idle, it's actually one of the loudest coolers. During our first load, it is actually the loudest cooler, but that actually kind of levels off as we go into load 2. So I think the fan spins up, and then, when it gets to that really high temperature, it kind of levels out and you can see it's right in the middle of the pack. Now, as we come to the end here, TRYX definitely likes to make a splash when they enter the market. We saw what they did with their curved screens on their AIOs, and now with their first air cooler, we have this awesome 5-inch screen. This 5-inch screen looks great. Anything you put on it looks really, really good. And I think for an air cooler, it's sort of like the perfect implementation of a screen. It doesn't take up the whole cooler, but we have this nice little screen here. So I really like that. And with the Canali software, you have 24 presets, which look really good. And then you can superimpose your system stats on top of that. And then on top of that, you can essentially put anything you want on it, from movies to GIFs to just pictures, and you can cycle through all of that really easily. Didn't run into any issues with the software at all. If anything, it is a little hard to see the system stats on certain animations and things like that. And while you can change the color of the text from black or white, I wish you would be able to have something like an outline or a shadow just to make that text just be easier to read overall. But the software is great, and I really like that I can essentially put whatever I want on the screen. So I really like that. On top of just a screen, of course, this is a massive CPU cooler. Dual tower, dual fan, 6 heat pipes. And in our testing, it's one of the best coolers that we've tested lately. Now, it does get a little bit loud, but it's not something like an AMD stock cooler that's going to sound like it's going to take off. So you really aren't going to notice it, especially if you have headphones on and you're gaming. Being so big, it could be hard to install, but it's really not at all. You could totally install this cooler with it, with your motherboard mounted inside your system. If anything, I'm not the biggest fan of the L-shaped screwdrivers. I just would like a regular screwdriver, but installation is incredibly easy. And I really like that they made the USB 2.0 cable long enough to go behind your motherboard and pop out the bottom, so you don't have this cable kind of going down everywhere. Now, this cooler is currently selling for $129.99. And in this market, I think that actually is a really good deal considering everything that you're getting. Now, if you have any questions about this cooler, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And I will have links below to our full written review over at thinkcomputers.org, as well as where you can go ahead and pick this up. Now, if you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you do that thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.